Hey everyone, Mr. Ellison here, Eastside Construction, looking at the Orbital sander here, just the palm sander. We'll be using this a lot in class. And let's take a look at some of the features of it. It's very simple. There's an on-off switch up at the front. There is a little dust collector bag here in the back. And then, of course, you got the sanding pad down here on this disc. Before you use this machine, there's a few things that you should do. First of all, before you plug it in, make sure the thing is off, all right, in that zero position. You also want to clear out your dust bag. So you do it just by clicking it off like this and then pulling it out. And I got a little dust in there, so go over to a trash can and you can empty that out and then click it just right back in place by turning clockwise again, making sure it's secure. You also want to do is check the condition of the paper. First of all, make sure there's paper on here. There's been way too many times that I have seen people sanding without the pad on. So it's a Velcro pad that attaches to the bottom. This feels like sandpaper on here, but it's just Velcro, right? It's going to destroy our sanders. Please pay attention.
Yeah, it's black too.
When you inspect your papers, you will check for any damage like this. So we don't want to use this. This one's going to get old. It's a little gummed up. So we want to go ahead and put a new pad on this one. And when we do that, there are different grits that we can use. On the back of every paper, you will see a grit number. Right? We're going to use grits from anywhere from 80 to 220 in this class. 80 is going to be the roughest surface, the most coarse, right? It's going to take the most off of your wood at a time, right? The smoother the finish will be the higher the number, right? So 220 grit will give you a very nice smooth finish, and you will use that more towards the end of your project when you're just perfecting it, right? So center that disc on there. You don't want it like that, of course. So you want it as centered as possible, and you want to try to line up those dust relieving holes so that some of the dust will get sucked up and put into the bag. Right? So once that disc is on there, nice and centered, you've checked your condition, you've checked your bag is empty, your switch is off, you can go ahead and plug your sander in. When you're using this, what you want to keep in mind is keeping the pad flat on the material that you're using, all right? So you don't want to go up on edges. You don't want to push unevenly on any different surface. You want to keep that thing flat, and you really don't even need to push that much, that hard, all right? Let the sander do the work itself, all right? You can also do edges, right? But again, keep it flat on the edge of the material. Don't go up on the edge of the pad like this. It's going to damage the pad, and it'll probably damage the piece that you're working on as well. If you do want to get a corner, again, stay flat. Try to keep as much of the pad in contact with the wood as possible. Right? So when you turn it on, and when you turn it off as well, it'll take a few seconds to wind down. Make sure, and you'll notice when I'm done here, that I hold on to it until it's completely stopped. So turn it on. Right? One thing I should mention is make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. This will release lots of fine particles. We make sure that our air filters are on. We can use a respirator as well, but make sure that there's not too much dust being created in your environment. All right, so we can turn it on. When we sand, we want to just keep it moving. You don't want to stay in the same place for a very long period of time. Keep that thing moving, and typically in the same direction as the grains of the wood. All right, go over it, feel it, and check it out. All right, you get the side, you can do the same. Just keep it flat, and we sand. All right, if you notice, it takes a while for that thing to wind down. Do not set it down until you have made sure that it is completely stopped.